Okay, guys, this is the fan show. Tottenham Hotspur have lost 4-2 at Molineux. Just on the watch along, just on my instant match review. Not a lot to be ecstatic about after that performance, and not a lot to be surprised about either, I wouldn't say. I'm not sure necessarily you would have bet on 4-2, but you would have probably bet on Spurs wimping out and just losing in a very pathetic manner, and that is what happened. So let's speak to some Spurs fans from all around the world about it. And first off to Malta and Melvin. Melvin, welcome to the show. How are you feeling after that game?
Not too good. To be honest, it's a strange one because it's a game you want to win, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter, does it?
No.
It's like I watched the game. I was numb the whole way through. You know, when we conceded in the first minute, I was like, again, seriously, why we keep making the same mistakes? The defense sometimes is shocking. The concentration levels of the team. I know this game doesn't really matter, but at least try, at least show that, you know, for the traveling fans especially, I feel sorry for them because if you make your way all the way to the stadium, all the way to Wolves to watch this game, you at least want to see the team try. And yeah, the lineup in a way I was happy with because he rested six players. Obviously, there's some news that Sonny has a knock or something like that, but I personally would have went more drastic and rested Solanke, Madison, and
Me too.
Even Vicario and Romero. I honestly wouldn't have played a single player that's going to play on Thursday, and even because we lost anyway. So what's the point? You just think Thursday is potentially where we would be in a semi-final of a European trophy. So, or potentially we would be the worst season we've had in certainly since I've been following Spurs. So I don't know. So I don't know what to say.
Let me just agree with you, Melvin, on one thing. Can I just agree with you on one thing there?
Yeah.
It's been proven this season, time and time again, that these half and half teams don't work. So he should have just rotated everyone. He should have played Mikey Moore. He should have played Kinski. He should have played everyone because, what you said is exactly true. We lost anyway, and we knew we were going to lose anyway. So just chuck it in. Just, play the kids.
If Kulusevski was good enough to start off the bench, I would have gave him 60 minutes. Get some legs in there. He was on the bench anyway.
Kulusevski looked good, actually, I thought.
Yeah, he did. He did. So that's something positive. But this season's defending has been, even Romero this season has been really poor. I know he nearly got us the second goal, with his header and Richarlison slotted in. But it's still been a bad season for Romero. Yeah, I think he's mentally checked out. Personally, in my opinion, I think he's mentally thinks he's going to be next season in Spain, Italy, Germany, whatever. He thinks mentally he's not here. He's not at Spurs. He still wears the shirt because he's one of the best defenders we have. But I just think mentally he's somewhere else already. I just think his agent knows something. He knows something, and
I think he's going about it completely the wrong way. Because if he thinks he's going to check out to the point where Atletico or Real Madrid are going to be able to get him on the cheap, Levy's not going to sell him on the cheap. So he should be playing his absolute best game after game, so that he can get the move that he wants at the price that we'd accept.
He should be, but unfortunately, it's not showing on the pitch. For me, he has credit in the bank, and clubs around Europe know he's a quality defender because they see him in the World Cup. They see him for Argentina. They know his experience, and it shows. He's not playing for us. He's not playing for us with the same aggression. It's not the same Romero, is it? I mean, when's the last time you see him tackle for the ball like he used to, or be so? It's not the same player for me. I don't know. I still love the player. I still want him to be at the club if he can, turn it around a little bit. With the game, I thought, I don't know, Tell was okay. I know they lacked a bit of service. The Spence and Tell partnership, I think, was good in the first half. In the second half, I think there's still the same issues. The midfield is still really weak. Madison, I expected more from him. He didn't have the worst games. Solanke, I really thought and should not have started. I would have rested his legs because we need him to be really, really strong on Thursday. Thursday is absolutely everything for this football club at the moment and for me. I mean, we haven't had such an important game for a really, really long time, and our season rests on it. We could potentially be in a semi-final, and that's honestly very rare for us to say. So today we lost 4-2. Am I going to be upset? No, I'm going to forget about it in the next 10 minutes. Honestly, once I hang up, I'm going to forget about this loss because it's not important. It does nothing for me. It does nothing for the league. Postecoglou is, hanging by a thread. One more game, and if you lose that game, he's gone. Simple as that. If you win, there's, you have 2 more games. Yeah. Because it's honestly, it's gone down. It's gone down to that. It's that kind of season, and we've said, well, not me personally, but people on the podcast, I would take 15th if we win a trophy. People said this whole time, a long time.
For years. They've
been saying this for years. So we're in it at the moment. So Thursday, let's see what we can do. Hopefully we get through and we're in the semi-final. And if somehow we get there, it would be great. I'd love it. I'd love to win a trophy, to see Heung-min Son and his Tottenham career winning a trophy. But we'll see.
Melvin, let me just tell you a stat that I just read. Wolves hadn't scored more than 2 goals in a match in 2025, and they've just scored 4.
I thought Vicario was at fault for the first goal. I mean, he should do better than that. Vicario. Anyway.
Okay, Melvin, thanks for being involved and being a part of the show. Let's talk again after Thursday night when we'll definitely have won, I would have thought, and we'll be in the semi-finals.
Hopefully. See you, Barnaby. All the best.
See you, mate. Bye-bye. Okay, next up, we're going over to America and Scott. How are you, Scott?
I don't know. Frustrated. I don't know. Deflated. Whatever Craig says. It's like, it's so apropos. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even watch part of it because I just, at 2-0 at half, I'm just going to go walk the dogs. Whatever happens. I'll replay it if it's any good. We scored a goal, but immediately after getting back, I could hear the cheering, walked upstairs, and boom, third goal. It's just pathetic.
Do you think his team selection was right today?
I don't think rotation's the problem. I mean, you look at the players. Spence played great. I can't even remember all the other rotations. Johnson played terrible again. I mean, he's just so, either he gets that cross tap in or he does nothing. And who else was it? Ben Davis. He wasn't terrible. Not as good as Van de Ven, but
I think, do you think he should have basically just rested everybody who's going to play on Thursday night rather than, more minutes in the legs of the likes of Solanke and Madison and Romero?
I don't think that would have worked because if we go back to early in the Europa League, he was doing that half and half thing. He'd take the first team and the second team, and we looked pretty bad then.
No, that's what he did today. I'm suggesting he should have gone for the full reserve team.
No, well, he changed more for the Europa. I mean, he probably had 7 or 8 changes back in the early Europa games. So I don't think it was that. I just think they don't know how to play the system. Bentancur, he's getting off lightly on that Bergvall giveaway. I wrote it in the little chat thing that he just played 2 tippy-tappy passes on a free kick. And then Bergvall got stripped because we were all, I don't even think we saw it. I didn't see it here until the replay. It's Bentancur too. It's just they don't know how to really work together.
Okay, so looking ahead to Thursday, obviously based on last Thursday, but we're going to be away from home. What level of confidence do you have?
I still feel like somehow they play a little differently in those games. They play a little bit better. I thought they played really well last Thursday. And I don't think you can turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off without it finally catching up to you. Believe it or not, I feel like we could still win that. I mean, I know it sounds ludicrous. Look at all these comments. In fact, I'm just going to turn them off right now because it's not worth watching. I mean, I admire you because last week I gave you a little hard time because you were like so unimpressed with our first goal. I was like, Barnaby, come on, show some emotion. But I feel that same way. But then I read the chat and it's just like, it's so hot and cold. My God. Although I haven't even seen hot for a while. I don't know how it was during the game because I didn't get to watch it. So I think we could win. And I just don't.
It does feel like a leap, though, doesn't it, for us to go from performances like this to suddenly something that we're going to need, which would be the kind of akin to the performance we had at the Etihad where we won 4-0.
When was that again? Was that 2 years ago or 3 years ago?
No, it was this season, but it was at the beginning of this season.
It feels like 3 years ago.
It does, yeah.
It doesn't even seem possible that we were that
aged. I've certainly aged 3 years since then.
I know. I watched you. You're funny. Oh, you're funny. Yeah, it's a mess. Oh, God. I mean, I was taking notes. First 10 minutes, just abysmal.
Why did we concede so many goals in the first minute, Scott?
I think it's all Ange. He does not set a tone. You cannot feel. Everyone talks about this manager sets this tone or that tone. I feel like they come out, and truthfully, my team, I have a team, football team. Here in America, we call it soccer, whatever. I don't care. But, man, my team came out the same way yesterday. I was so mad. I tricked this guy that was breaking away. He'd already scored a goal at that point. He got so mad at me, and I'm just like, didn't say a word, but I was thinking, I have to do this for my team because right now we suck. And I don't even think the Spurs think that way. They don't think like, we suck right now. We got to do something like hard foul. I mean, Romero, I feel like hasn't even done a hard foul for ages.
Yeah.
And really nobody's doing anything. It's pathetic. Although I think Spence played well. I should take that back. Spence played well. Oh God, Dom sucked. He just looked off it.
Tired,
you're right. He should have rested until he cannot play left wing. You can tell that is not his position. And Ange should see that. He must be the same way in practice. He just he looks big-footed. And I think on the wing, you shouldn't notice the guy just kind of big-footed on the wings. They should be driving down the wings, or even Son, he cuts it back a lot and passes it backwards, but Tell did not look good. I don't even know who looked good going on the attack. Matters, that giveaway, that was terrible. Yeah, was that the first or second goal where Matters gave it away and they broke? Maybe we didn't give up a goal on that one.
Yeah, listen, I think we're all in agreement. It was pretty bad. But Scott, look, thanks for being a part of the show. Really appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll talk again after Thursday night.
Yeah, well, okay. See you later.
Oh, man, bye-bye. Okay, we're going over to Canada now. Going to Canada and Scott. Sorry, Colin. I'm losing the plot here, Colin. Colin, how are you, mate?
You're in good company. I'm great. How are you?
I'm bored. I'm bored of losing. Honestly, it's interesting though, because I remember I basically go into every season, right, thinking if you lose less than 6 Premier League games, you have a chance of challenging. Are we now at like 20? Is that it's all competitions? We just lost. Actually, I can find out. Hold on.
Yeah.
How many Premier League games have we lost this season? Let's have a look.
I don't know. I heard a stat last week that it was.
We have lost 17 Premier League games. Our record is played 32, won 11, drawn 4, lost 17.
Yeah.
That is two more than West Ham.
I heard that stat last week where we lost. I don't know. It was like high 20s out of high 30s in the last. Comps. Yeah. No, we were. I mean, what can you say? I mean, what a fantasy camp for the Wolves today. I mean, the city of Wolverhampton must be like an extra 50 feet above sea level.
I was surprised. I was surprised that they were celebrating so hard. Like they didn't know they were going to go into that game and win. Come on.
But you know what, though? Isn't that? I mean, really, I don't want to sound like a cliche here, but that's what it's all about. I mean, what a game for them. I mean, imagine carrying so much. They were on cloud 9. I mean, I couldn't help but think, wouldn't that be great if that was us? Wouldn't it be great if that stadium was rocking before the ball was dropped? I mean, they were ready to go. And what a huge difference that makes. What a huge difference when you watch our home games compared to that. I thought it was, I mean, kudos to them that they're that excited. Yeah. It's wonderful. I thought we always make teams look like they should be in the Champions League.
Yeah. Colin, do you think today's result and performance will have any bearing whatsoever on Thursday night?
100%. Absolutely.
Okay, talk me through that.
Because how can you, like the previous caller said, you can't turn it off. We certainly can't turn it off and on. And we were terrible today. And I'm not being overly negative, but I mean, objectively speaking, I don't like our chances on Thursday whatsoever. And I think if we had gone today, if we had a 1-4-2, if we had a 1-4-1, if we had to put a stamp on that game today, I think I know it's huge. It's absolutely huge. And the fact, please don't tell me we were resting quality uninjured players for Thursday. I mean, you know more about this than I do, but that's for a high-level athlete. That's a good turnaround time, and I think we had to win today. And I think that game, I take exception with people saying, "Oh, that's a nothing game." There's no such thing as a nothing game, and we had to win that game today to set us up for Thursday. And I think it has a huge impact.
I think Mickey van der Ven improves us by about 25%, and I would say I think he was right not to play him today.
I would agree with the Van de Ven decision. Absolutely. If he's still not, if there's any question about his fitness, I agree with you 100%. I also agree with the previous guest that said the substitution patterns, resting people and stuff is not really the problem. I don't think high-level competitive athletes that are healthy, 100% healthy, need to be rested in this situation. I think do you think the turnaround is good enough that a 21-year-old, somebody like Bergvall, has a lot of time to recover and be 100% ready if he's healthy for Thursday?
I do, but I guess I would argue that it's almost like Ange is picking based on luck now. He feels like he's been so unlucky with injuries that it would be just his luck if he gets injured. But then also, if the team you put out is going to perform so badly that you have to bring those players on at 50 minutes, then it kind of makes it a bit pointless.
Yeah. And I kind of agree with what you said about a wholesale. If we're going to do it, let's get Mikey Moore. Let's get everybody. Let's put Kinski in there.
Yeah, I mean Kinski. I mean, listen. I think we all got to the point where we felt like Vicario was immune from making mistakes, but he makes mistakes, and Kinski makes mistakes too. And Kinski, I would still say, is a better footballer with the ball at his feet, but Vicario is a better shot stopper. So I would still stick with Vicario playing, but I could have seen Kinski playing today.
But I think you have to win that game today. However you're picking your side, however you're picking your starting 11, I think you have to win today. And they were so terrible today that how do you then turn that around? We're very fragile to begin with, and you go into Molyneux and get your butt kicked. I just think if you look at sports and on the whole, I think it's hard to turn around from that. Who knows? That's why, as the cliche goes, that's why they play the games. But I just thought that was a terrible across the board. It was just really, really not what we needed to do today.
Do you think? I mean, you've said you're not feeling that confident we're going to win on Thursday. So do you think Ange Postecoglou will still be the Tottenham manager against Liverpool away next weekend?
Yes, 100%. Well, I'm contradicting. I don't know. What's the point? What would be the point of getting? I mean, it's almost like, what would be the point of getting rid of him after Thursday? If you're going to get rid of him, it should have been a while ago.
Sure, and I don't disagree with that. But if and when we go out of the Europa League, all the games will be like today, won't they?
Yes, yeah, and that's
six more league games.
Yeah, and which nobody will watch. I mean, there's no.
Do you think Do you think it actually might be the first time that we see kind of swathes of thousands of empty seats at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
I don't know. I mean, people pay a lot for those seats, right? And I think people come from all over the world to see those games.
Yeah.
I think that it's that odd relationship that supporters have with a losing club. Like they seem to be willing to, not willing, I'm not knocking the fan base at all, but people show up. That's the bottom line. And that's why I think stadiums that are half empty puts a lot of pressure on ownership, and Tottenham's not one of those stadiums. So that could be a large part of the culture of that club. And I think that's really the issue, is there's a larger cultural issue going on at that club that, a friend of mine was saying they need to blow up Manchester United. He said from the cafeteria up, they have to change that squad. And I kind of remember that documentary years ago with when Mourinho was the coach and they did that Spurs documentary.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. All or nothing. Yeah.
And yes. And just the the culture of that club seemed very odd to me. It seemed very kind of complacent even back then. Players were very happy just to be there. You know, a lot of players talking about how great the schools were for their kids, which, hey, that's great. But that's, as a fan, you know, those aren't the priorities for fans, right? And I think that attitude, I don't think they have a winning attitude at Spurs. I don't think they know how to win, or they're not 100% focused on winning.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Listen, Colin, thanks so much for being a part of the show. Really appreciate it. Let's talk again after hopefully a better result.
I hope so. Always a pleasure. Thanks, Barnaby.
Bye-bye. Okay, we're continuing our move around the world and to South Africa now with Linton, who I haven't spoken to for a while. How are you, Linton?
Barnaby, I'm good, thank you. But yeah, it's another disappointing result, unfortunately.
Were you in any way surprised?
No, it's become the norm these days. 17 defeats in 32 Premier League games. So that speaks for itself.
Linton,
So
I haven't brought this up today.
I don't know where we go from here.
I haven't brought this up today yet, but I feel like it might be worth saying. Do you get the sense from that news that dropped on Friday that Spurs are now appointing a new CEO, the ex-Arsenal CEO? Do you get the feeling that Levy is, you know, blaming Scott Munn and is going to probably dispense with him and therefore dispense with Ange because they're the kind of Australian pairing, and try a new start yet again from the summer?
Well, Scott Munn hasn't been there very long, so
no, just a year.
It is possible, but yeah,
no, he's been here. Wait, he's been there.
what-
He's been there since Ange has been there, hasn't he? 2 years then, nearly 2 years.
Yeah, it's about there. Yeah, I think he started just slightly after Ange. It took a while for him to be released from the City Group, but it could be. I just don't know what he's thinking. Why is he appointing a CEO? We should be looking at matters on the pitch. And I mean, surely we've got enough people in high level positions in there. I don't know the thinking. I don't understand.
Apparently, the new guy will have full control over all football. I mean, whatever football operations, whatever that means. But presumably that means including deciding who's going to be the manager and stuff as well, alongside, you know, the likes of Levy, Donnelly, Cullen, and Munn if he's still there. But I don't know if Munn will continue. Who knows? What did anyone perform well for you today?
Spence, as always, I thought he played well, and Tell, probably the only two that did anything, you know, worth noting. Apart from that, everybody was poor. Vicario had an absolute shocker.
Yeah, Vicario didn't have a great start, that's to say the least.
No.
What are your thoughts now then heading into Thursday and the big one?
You know, if I look at last Thursday, I thought we played very well, or certainly probably the best we've played all season. And so I'm hoping that, strangely enough, we can turn it on. I'm hoping that the players are seeing silverware at the end of the tunnel. So I'm hoping that Thursday night we really turn it on, and it's going to be difficult. We're going to be in front of a hostile crowd, so it is going to be difficult. And our away record, again, as we saw today, is not great. So I would like to say the game's in the balance. I would be happy if we went there with at least a 1-goal lead. But yeah, you know, the thing is, Barnaby, we've got to turn it on from minute one.
Yeah.
You know, on Thursday night, we conceded in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Today, you know, again, in the second minute of the game, we conceded. So the focus has got to be on from the opening whistle for every single player.
But it never is.
And that's the problem. We've conceded too many goals early in the match.
Yeah, and I think there's a part of me that thinks, excuse me, that ever since that kind of Chelsea game from last season, where we nearly went 2-0 up and then kind of almost lost our heads with ill discipline, Ange almost doesn't motivate them in the same way to start as strongly. All the reports from Celtic and from Japan and Australia were that he's the ace man manager, the ace motivator, and that he gives the team talks that are unlike any team talks you've heard from a manager before. But the way that they go onto that pitch is not relevant to those rumours.
Exactly. they go on half asleep. So whether the warm up is correct, I don't know what it is. Whether it's the team talk, who knows what it is. But there's just been too many games where we've started on the back foot, where we've started 1-0 down, and it hasn't been long, and we've conceded a second in many games. And again today, shortly after the first one, we almost conceded a second, almost immediately. So I don't know what it is. You know, the other thing that bothers me is, what style are we playing? There's been so much made of Ange ball last season and early this season, but we're not playing Ange ball. We're not. I think, to me, the players don't even know what they're playing, and it's the way we're playing. I don't know what our style is.
Ange ball does not work against well-drilled teams who play a deep block, especially against teams who have three at the back, because right down the middle of the pitch, basically where Ange ball was working at the beginning of last season, is because we had overloads in the middle of the pitch. But every team we play against now makes sure that the middle of the pitch is absolutely packed with most of the players, and therefore it doesn't work. And it especially doesn't work in games like this.
And it's a lot of backwards, sideways, backwards, and that's where we get caught, and that's where that last goal of theirs was conceded. I mean, we had a free kick, and we were just pushing the ball around when Bergvall was robbed of the ball, and they scored. So it was just too much sideways and backwards, and not enough sort of pace going forward.
Yeah, Linton, listen, I totally agree, and thanks so much for being a part of the show. Let's talk again, hopefully after a better result on Thursday.
Let's hope so.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. Okay, next over to the Czech Republic and Steve. Thanks for being patient, Steve, mate. Good to see you.
No worries. I'd rather have not even taken part, but...
well, there you go. Well, appreciate your loyalty.
I
won't keep you for too long, Steve, but how are you feeling after that one?
Obviously very disappointed, but as you said, not surprised. I was hoping to come away for a draw, before the game started, but I was looking at their last or their record. The last time Wolves lost in the league was at Liverpool on February the 16th, I think it was. They lost a cup game, but that wasn't in the league. So, and I was pretty concerned about that. They'd sort of hit a run of form. That's why they moved up the table a little bit. They've escaped relegation. So there was that. And then our poor record against them to boot, and the way we've been playing as well. It was like you say. I wasn't expecting anything really. A draw, and I've been over the moon. But it's like chalk and cheese. I know it's a different side, but
we don't do draws.
No, exactly. I was at the game on Thursday, and like everyone's been saying, and we do play it. We seem to play completely differently when we.
Steve. Talk me through the atmosphere at the game on Thursday, and what you thought of the performance there, with mind to this coming Thursday away from home.
Yeah, I mean, it was a poor start again. Obviously, someone's spoken about that earlier on. Did you feel like before the game the fans were like properly, really super loud and pumped for it, or was it more like because I was at the Champions League quarter-final home leg against Man City, and that is the loudest I'd ever been at a Tottenham game. No. And I was hoping that maybe we would recreate that for the Frankfurt game, but I didn't get the sense it was like that. No, it wasn't. I wasn't at the game you were at, and I've not been to many games living over here. But I was a bit disappointed. In fact, I was, let's say, impressed is the wrong word, with the small contingent of Frankfurt fans. They were making a hell of a noise throughout the game. They were really well supported.
German fans are always good like that. Away fans,
very vocal. They used the acoustics really well.
They were allowed to have a drum in, weren't they?
Yeah, that's right. And there was a lot of it was a kind of a whistling. There's some kind of whistling kind of song, not protesting kind of whistling, but part of the sort of their sort of the way they were supporting their team. Very, very, very loud, and very. No, there wasn't too much from the Spurs fans. In terms of the game, I was really impressed. And as we all know, I thought we were extremely unlucky. We could have easily come away like 4-1 winners, and that had been done and dusted. Well, Probably. Very impressed. Bergvall again today was. I love him to bits as a player, as we all do. He's probably one of our best players of the season, along with Spence. But I do think it was totally unnecessary for him to try and beat Kuna when he did and lose possession. There's so many players around him to pass to.
Yeah.
You know, it's a totally different scenario when he's going on one of his bursting runs across into the opposition half. It's not such a dangerous thing, but he was literally the last man.
No, it was a shame, but also, like I said in my match review, is like, I don't mind that in a way, because at least he was trying to make things happen. Whereas, like we said in a previous call, so much sideways and backwards and fear on the pitch of like making a mistake. So he's trying to make something happen. And frankly, I'd rather it was today than on Thursday. So,
with regards to the team, you were asking people, if I can just interject, that I thought he should have changed many more players and given many more players a rest and give it a complete turnaround. I mean, a couple of people said they were impressed with Tell. I mean, I used to be a winger at a lot lower level, but it doesn't make any difference. But I thought he was pretty poor. He never made one-on-one. He was linking up okay.
He'll never go around the outside.
No,
we know that.
He'll never go around the outside. He couldn't get a cross in. Some poor passing, dispossessed. Not really. I mean, there's a lot of players who had bad games today. But I wouldn't say I want to see him again. And Johnson is the same sort of thing. He gets his assist, but didn't do bugger all else. I thought Romero was unlucky. If you watch that, the goal he concedes, or it's his fault, it bounces up and hits his shin or his knee, and he loses control. But I think everyone's a bit harsh on him. You know, I know he's not really been.
That's his job.
It is his job. Okay, well, let's talk about Solanke. I love everyone saying he's a workhorse and he works really hard, but his job as a striker is to put the ball in the net.
But did we make him a good chance again today?
True, we didn't. But so why do we have a striker like that if we're playing a system where it doesn't work?
You have to ask. I mean, that's down to the manager. That is down to the manager. Is you've got a striker who scored 20 goals for a team. Mid-table team last season.
Oh, I know.
So it comes to the idea that if you make the boy chances, he's going to score goals. He's done it in the Premier League. It's not like, Sergei Rebrov or Vincent Janssen who we bring in and they have to prove it. He's proven it at the top level for, on paper, a worse team than this. So it's down to the tactics as far as I'm concerned. Now, before I let you go, Steve, give me your prediction for Thursday night.
We come away, we get through. I won't say we're going to win. Well, we can win on. So we're going to win. We could draw and then win on penalties or something like that. I mean, I think we'll go through. If we play like we did last Thursday, I know it's away. I think we can get through. I really believe that. Well, I really hope so.
I love the positivity, Steve. Brilliant. Let's talk after that game, and hopefully you're proven correct. Thanks for being a part of the show.
Thank you, Arnaby. Have a good one. Bye.
Okay, next up to Manuel. Manuel, thanks for being so patient, mate. How are you feeling after that 4-2 defeat to Wolves at Molineux? Oh, I think you're on mute. Manuel. Can you unmute yourself?
Hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Thanks.
Thank you for accepting my invitation. I'm very excited because of next Thursday, obviously.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we don't do 4 individual errors in 2 consecutive games. Hopefully the errors happen today, and next game we don't do no errors, no individual errors, please.
I wonder what the stats are, Emmanuel, on the last time a Premier League team gave up 4 individual errors. I bet it's probably, do you remember that game where we were 5-0 down against Newcastle after 20 minutes?
Yes, I remember that game. Please don't mention it again.
So, Manuel, you're feeling excited about Thursday night. Give us some positivity and tell us why you think we're going to go through into the semi-finals of the Europa League.
Look, this game against Wolves away, we are always unlucky. They are a physical team. They got their first yellow card in the 85th minute. We got our first yellow card after 6 minutes. No one mentioned that we had a clear penalty. Doherty fouled Madison. I mean, come on. This season, referee decisions, I feel we were very, very unjust this season. Not even 50-50 decisions. I watch sometimes Liverpool, the player touches him in the box, boom, penalty. I mean, don't tell me Madison's foul was not a penalty.
I think, Manuel, that's one of those ones where it would have been a foul outside of the box and therefore should be a foul inside of the box, but they don't give those anymore. And the reason they don't give them at all is because they know that if it's a genuine mistake, they can be saved by the VAR. That is why that happens.
It's because it's Tottenham. That's why they don't give it, because if it was other clubs, they give it. Romero had an unlucky game. I thought the first half he was starting to get in his rhythm, passing the ball, distributing the ball. I felt even Bissouma was starting to getting in his rhythm. Obviously, the individual errors changed the game. But then the coach decided to take off Bissouma and Sarr to change the game.
Bissouma was poor. Come on, Bissouma was poor, wasn't he?
I know Bissouma was poor, but you can see him trying. You can see him trying. Obviously, I feel that players like Bissouma and Sarr, if they feel like they get a game, they try, and then once, obviously it's not their fault, once individual errors happen, they get chopped off to try something new. So it's like you have certain games you don't start, you get a game, you start, you try, and then boom, you hit again back square.
I've just got a quote here from Ange. Manuel, he says, in general, I thought we were well in the game and controlled it really well, but we just kept conceding really poor goals. Isn't not conceding goals pretty much the key to winning any football match?
Obviously, yes. That's the point of the game. I feel right now, as a club in general, we have lots of toxicity because of the results. If the results improve next year, hopefully there will be much more balance within the football club and much more harmony, and the fans would be happier. But right now, with rock bottom, people are, talking against each other. People want the coach out, coaching, lots of uncertainty. And I think that reflects on the players. And for individual errors, there's lots of toxicity, lots of bad negative energy.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we play good this next Wednesday. We get a result next Wednesday. And hopefully we have something to smile about next Wednesday. The future is bright. It's lily white. That's what I want next Thursday. Come on, let's go.
So just before I let you go, then give me your prediction for Thursday night's scoreline.
I don't want to predict the scoreline. I just hope we progress. I just hope we don't make no individual errors, and we get through. We get to the semi-final. We get 2 more games, and hopefully maybe get to the final. And obviously, this year has been an up and down. Obviously, these past few months were more down, but hopefully we get something at the end of the year.
Manuel, I hope you're right. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. Let's talk again after Thursday night. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay, back to Ireland and Paul. Thanks for being so patient, Paul. How are you feeling?
I'll be honest with you, Barbie. I'm completely and utterly fed up. I have been, and since starting to come on your show, I think before Christmas, on a semi-regular basis, I was, I pro Ange because of, the hand he was dealt as regards of all the injuries and so on and so forth, and we were losing games, and that's the reason why. But he now has his full strength squad back. Now, we're not just talking about today, but for the last month or so, and nothing has changed.
No,
absolutely nothing has changed. So no,
are they playing for him, Paul? Do they care about him?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. It doesn't look like it. I think tactically now he has now been found out that football in Australia, Japan, and Scotland is not at the level of the football that he has to manage and know. He has now absolutely been found out.
Yeah,
we
just see the same things, both in terms of mainly in terms of how opposition set up against us.
Absolutely, yeah, and like we've said this on numerous occasions. Even when we were winning and we were playing very, very well, there is no plan B. There is just one way and one way only. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. And there's no consequence to it. Well, the consequence is that we don't win games. And that us Spurs fans are bitching and moaning about it morning, noon, and night.
Yeah.
And, it's so hard to watch. I'll be honest, I want him gone now. I wouldn't even wait till Thursday night. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to be. It's been that poor. It's been that bad.
So do you envisage us losing on Thursday night?
Well, look, one part I will agree with is that we have seemed to be playing better in the Europa League, which will give us some sort of chance, and we're still in the game.
Yeah.
Or we're still in the tie. So I think it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult, but with our full starting 11, starting, I think we absolutely have. I think, I'll be honest, apart from the Frankfurt goal on Thursday night, I thought we played them off the park. Like we could have had 4 or 5 in the second half alone. That would have put the tie to bed, and that's something as well. We're just not clinical enough.
I hope I'm wrong, but I think for me the problem is that even I don't disagree. I thought we played better than them, but they still had 3 or 4 occasions where they had like 4-on-2s, 5-on-3s or whatever. And with the home crowd behind them, I think they're more likely to make the right decision. So for me, it's more like, do I see us scoring 3 goals there? Because I think we'll probably concede 2.
Yeah, absolutely, quite possibly. And that is always a worry. We do seem to get ourselves into situations where when a team breaks against us, we never have a back 4 that's there to defend. It's generally only a back 2 with 4 attackers coming at us.
Yeah.
And we have defenders or midfielders coming from behind. And we're just hoping that the attack slows up enough that our players get back into position. It absolutely frightens me. It frightens me. And we can concede a lot of goals from that. And that's very worrying, especially when we get to home.
I guess I'm wrong in that we don't actually need to score 3. 2 would potentially be enough on penalties. What's your prediction before I let you go? What's your prediction for it?
1-1 draw. We win on penalties.
When have we ever won on penalties in an important game?
I know, that's true, but look, it has to change somehow. It has to change sometime. So
all right, yeah, so Vicario to make up for his 2 errors today by saving loads of penalties on Thursday night.
Do you know what? No, I'll be honest. The first thing I said, I wouldn't do anybody's confidence any good. But I would have had more respect for Pascal today if he whipped Vicario after the second one. So get off and get Kinski on. I'm deadly serious.
Yeah.
Whatever about the first goal, okay, it was a weak punch. But he could have walked out and caught the second one. Yeah. He did not have to dive. He made it look good for the cameras and made a complete and utter ass of himself.
Yeah.
It's awful. It was awful.
No, I completely agree. That's true. Okay, Paul, look, thanks for being a part of the show. Let's speak again after on Thursday. I appreciate it. Cheers, bye. Okay, and last but by no means least, Zach, thank you for being so patient, mate. Zach, what have you got to add? Obviously, you've heard all of my callers today. Everyone's mostly pretty negative. Is there anything to take from today?
I mean, I think obviously I spoke to you on Thursday after the game, and I was saying I predicted a loss. I was predicting 2-3-0 loss.
You did,
and it turned out to be a 4-2 loss. Obviously, I was keeping up to date. I was listening to it on the radio. And it's just the thing. I said to you on Thursday, we give the ball away too easily. We make mistakes too easily.
We concede from set pieces. We concede from crosses. It only takes one pass to get right at us through the middle of midfield when we lose the ball. There are a lot of things that I see in Tottenham that I do not see in the clubs in the top 6 or 7, and that is a problem.
Exactly. I mean, I would even go saying like the top half, like the top 10, like not making any mistakes. Like you watch, I don't know if you watched the Palace game against City.
Yeah, I did actually. I certainly watched the first half.
If you look at how Palace play compared to how Tottenham play, Palace are playing with a structure like they know what their plan is. Now, yes, they lost the game overall, but everyone expected Man City to beat Palace.
Yeah.
But they went out there with a structure.
And they played Man City off the park that first half. They should have been 4-5 up.
Yeah, no, I agree. But they look, all the players look like they know what they're doing, and they look comfortable in what they're doing. And like when you watch Tottenham, like this season, you don't know what Tottenham team's going to show up.
Yeah, I also think that Palace had a physicality and a pace that Tottenham do not have. So Tottenham, Ange is determined to play these wide forwards, but any defender who plays against them knows that they're never going to run you on the outside. Never. They're always going to come narrow back into where all of these players are. And so it's easy to defend against. It's frustrating to watch.
Exactly. And I think it comes down to like I had one of your callers saying it. I've said it to like my dad before as well, because me and my dad go to a lot of Tottenham games. Is Ange doesn't have a plan B. If plan A doesn't work, we'll try plan A again. And it's that may have worked in Scotland, all right, or in the Australian League or Japanese League. It's not going to work in the Premier League. Once you get found out, every team will stop you doing that. And what worries me is if we get to the cup, I think the only reason we're performing in Europe is because the players have a feeling they can achieve something there.
Right.
It's not. I don't think it's a case of Postecoglou's motivating them.
Right.
Because he can't motivate. He's not able to motivate them enough to perform in the Premier League. Like against Wolves, who are 17th in the league.
So you think they're basically taking it upon themselves in Europe to find ways to win?
Yeah, and if you look at our record in cup finals, if he can't motivate the players enough to perform against a team that are just above the relegation zone in the Premier League, how is he going to perform? How is he going to motivate them to perform in a cup final?
Well, I think, Zach, that's a very much a best case scenario at the moment. Now, before I let you go, just because we're running out of time, give me your prediction for Thursday night. Eintracht Frankfurt away, 50,000 screaming fans, the drums, the atmosphere. Spurs with a history over the last 2 years of being absolutely abject away from home. Give me your positivity and the scoreline in which you think Tottenham could get through.
Yeah, look, I like to stay positive. I know there's a lot of negative stuff going around the club, but look, I'll end it with positive. I'll stick with what I said on Thursday. I think we'll go a goal down, but I think we'll turn it around. I think we'll win 2-1.
Zach, I love it. I love the positivity. I really hope you're right. Let's talk after that, and thanks for being a part of the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, if you'd like to appear on a future episode of The Fan Show, please email there at the bottom, tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. That's tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. It's really important to the channel that we give all fans a voice, particularly those from around the world. So wherever you're from, please do get in touch.